in full science operations. And one of the main action items from that meeting was to hold an in-person science meeting so both communities could get together and discuss the exciting science that one could do with both facilities. So it did not happen in the winter of 2020 because of COVID, obviously, but I'm very happy to see that we're actually able to make it happen now. So I have a couple housekeeping tidbits to go over before I get introduce Luke for the real opening remarks. So lanyard colors, you'll see some people who have purple ones. These people are special. You're allowed to talk to them and ask questions, and you know, any complaints, you voice it towards them. Yeah, I might change mine later. All right, reception today. Our Breakthrough Listen friends are going to host a reception this evening. You all should have gotten, I think, or is the drink ticket for dinner, actually? Yeah, sorry. They were much more kind. I think it's open bar, so get there early. We'd like to thank them for having that. Wi-Fi, we have our own network in here. The name is pretty obvious, so you can log into that. For all the registered participants who didn't decide to opt out of emails, you got an email to let you know how to join Slack. So there's Slack channels for everything going on for our online participation especially. So please join that. Speakers, before you come up, please go in the back corner and get mic'd up ahead of your talk. And then for poster flash presenters at noon today, please come up here before the coffee break, and we'll provide some instructions because there are a lot of poster flashes and we need to be highly efficient running through them. And I think that's all my notes. So then it's my pleasure to introduce Luc Samar, the Director General of the Hertzberg Astronomy and Astrophysics Research Center, who will give you some better opening words.
Thanks, Eric, for putting no pressure on me at all. Well, welcome everybody in Vancouver. It's wonderful to see so many of you here in the room as well, and you know, same to people online. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us. You know, as a start, I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the ancestral, traditional, and unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh nations. And you may have heard such land acknowledgements before, and wondering what they actually mean. At a personal level, I see them as the first step towards reconciliation. And it's a call to action towards this reconciliation with Indigenous people in Canada and around the world. And astronomy is in a very good position to do just that because it's universal. It transcends everything. And so it really is wonderful for us to have this opportunity to engage in such an important process, because big telescopes have cultural, environmental, societal impacts, and it's important to do it right. You know, it's about science, technology, and people. So that's why I'm, you know, particularly excited about the broader impact session later today. So I hope everybody will be there to listen to the wonderful work that both projects are doing on that front and to see how you might fit in to all this. It's also about a concept called indigenizing science, which you may have heard about and wondering again, where does it fit into my science? As a scientist, the way that I look at it is that our field leaps forward through paradigm shifts. And these paradigm shifts come through different worldviews. And so the Indigenous people are master at this, okay? They share a completely different view of our planet, of our universe, that is sometimes light years or decades of so-called Western science. A few years ago at the CASCA, the Canadian Astronomy Society meeting, an elders came and spoke to the astronomy community in Canada. No PowerPoint, nothing. He held the room, you could hear a pin drop. Anyway, he told us this story about being a kid with his grandfather standing on a beach. And his grandfather, looking at the sky with him, said, you know, look around the universe because there are other beaches out there. And the way, you know, working back through the ages, I think that event probably took place in the 1940. So here's somebody with no formal training in so-called Western science, knowing that there are exoplanets out there with beaches and oceans and forests, decades ahead of us. So, you know, it's absolutely stunning. Some native language, instead of being gender-based, are based on living or non-living things. And guess what? The stars are alive. And what does astrophysics tell us? Stars are born, they live, and they die. So it's up to us to listen, to learn, and change, and really work with cultures and people around the world to make the advancements of knowledge a better place. Because these are exciting times. We have these two amazing facilities in radio astronomy that are going to be there with us for the 21st century. And the science cases are just amazing. From the fundamental laws of physics to the cradle of life, you name it, these facilities will help us better understand those amazing places and hopefully make us better people. They're going to be working hand in hand to advance our knowledge of the universe. And you know, this is what this conference is all about. We're going to hear about the wonderful science that people are planning to do with these facilities, and I'm really looking forward to them. Canada is really looking at these two facilities working hand in hand. So you may have heard back in January, our government announced that we're going to join the SKA as a full member, so a full party to the SKA convention. The government is investing $282 million Canadian in technical work shares, including the correlator, and also this regional center, which is providing user support and data management. And this SRC is a big changer because, of course, it's going to be powerful in terms of processing and storage, but it is documented that these type of centers provide a more inclusive and diverse access to the data. They level the playing field. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what kind of computing you have at your own institution. You'll have an equal chance to explore the data produced by these amazing facilities. On the NGVLA front, we're working on the correlator for ALMA with NRAO. That correlator has exactly the same architecture as the SKA correlator and the NGVLA correlator. We're working on dish technology and receiver technology as well that is directly applicable to the NGVLA. And of course, maybe one day the SRC will host NGVLA data as part of a global network of data centers. And of course, there's the science in both facilities. And already looking at the posters, it really looks like both will play an amazing role in the coming decades. The future looks bright. And please enjoy the meeting. I look forward to meeting with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Luc. That was a great introduction. So I'm Brenda Matthews. I'm a member of the Science Organizing Committee and also the co-chair of the NGVLA Science Advisory Committee. And I'll be moderating the morning session with Eric, who's monitoring the Slack. So just as a note to the people presenting, we will be flagging you down with flags if you're approaching your time limit, and get more desperately flagging as you get closer to the end. And we will be flagging you to allow at least 5 minutes for questions. So be mindful of that. So I think we're a little ahead of schedule, but that's not a bad place to be. So Phil Diamond is our first speaker, and he's the Director General of the SKAO. He's going to talk about the Square Kilometer Array, an observatory for the 21st century. So come on up, Phil.